Spread out. Spread out. We back at it. We back at it. We back at it. It's your boy Friday Ricky Dread here with another live for your head top 2 days in a row. Let me go live on Instagram at the same time just so they can know what's going on. Let's get it popping. Let's get it popping. A lot of different things that are still going on. A lot of topics that I didn't get to cover yesterday, and more things that were coming in through the pipeline. 1 2 1 2 1 2. And there's some interviews. I did a great interview earlier that I would like to review. So, sorry, just checking my audios here. Young Money, what up? Let me do a couple of shares over here, quick, fast, while I'm here. And big salute to everybody who's popping up on Instagram. We are live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook, as well as Twitch simultaneously. So tap in. Let's get a conversation going on. There is also a link at the top of the chat over here on YouTube if you want to join the convo. Okay, if you want to get interactive. Just give me a minute. Let me do a few shares in the background over here. I'm going to be sharing this on Twitter. Feel free to do the same for the people on YouTube right now if y'all want to share this across the platforms that you prefer. I'm about to do a quick share on Twitter, aka X. What else I need to do? Let me go on Facebook, give a quick share over there on the Facebook. And we have a good live today, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep it under 3 hours, but there is a lot of different things that I definitely need to get to. While I'm here and while I have the people over here on Instagram, I'll give you a list of topics that I want to get into today. First of all, the Trump-Harris debate that happened last night. Wild, crazy debate. Very interesting debate, to be honest. And, I've been seeing just the reactions that have been coming out from that. And a lot of people have been just very strongly opinionated about their opinions about this. I don't got words today, but yeah, we'll definitely be getting into that. I want to go through some of the comments as well when it comes to the posts that have been getting posted about this debate, the different clips from the debate. So we'll get into that. Candace Owens loses her monetization. Okay, let me do this quick off top. We covered a lot of topics yesterday as far as with Kendrick Lamar and the Super Bowl and, whether he deserves to be in the Super Bowl or whether it should be Wayne. And then we got into a few Drake topics. Sorry, let me get my ice cap. To be honest, I don't really want to talk about any of that shit today, man. Okay, I feel like we beat the hell out of that topic now. The battle's like 4 or 5 months old, and we're still breaking it down and finding all the different angles and blah, 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 and looking at clips and this and that and deciphering this. Like, okay, enough. So for the people who are here to hear about Drake topics and hear about Kendrick Lamar topics and stuff like that, I don't know. This just might not be your day for those type of topics, okay? If you don't feel like tuning in to the live, if there is some type of breaking news that does happen, I'll definitely cover it as it breaks. But as far as let's circle back to yesterday with the Super Bowl decision. Like, nah, we ain't doing that. Like, we're not beating a dead horse. Like, come on. All right. But as far as other topics that I do have in here, Cardinal says that there's no more dancing in the clubs. That's something I want to get into a quick conversation about. I did an interview with 24 Hustle Over Everything. Big salute to them. They're the guys who interviewed Dr. Umar. So we did an interview, and I say me and Marlon Palmer did an interview with them, and that was a really, really dope interview. We'll do a quick reaction to that, or maybe more than a quick reaction. Also, Roadrunner speaks on Indian immigration. I want to get into the debate that's been happening with that, or get back into the debate that's been happening with that. Another shooting in the Toronto schools. Right, we're going to be doing our civic duties today. We're going to be keeping it more local and getting into things that are happening over here. There's the TIFF, Toronto International Film Festival, that's been happening over here. We'll get into a little bit of things that have been happening, including Leray being on the red carpet with Trippie Red. A few things to talk about. And Christmas list update. All right, big salute to Christmas list. He got arrested over there in Trinidad once again. Now he's got arrested for a different reason, for money laundering. So we'll definitely get into that. Big salute to everybody who's popping up on Instagram right now. Hit us up on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/we love hip hop. Let's get it popping. Let's get it popping. All right. We got that out of the way. Sorry, just doing a quick DM sweep. Also, quick salute to the sponsors. All right, starting with Diamond Club, always. Big salute to Diamond Club. They got delivery of some of the loudest loud across the GTA. Hit them up if you want any of that flour, edibles, pens, anything you need. Also, delivery across Canada if you need that too. Okay, so hit them up on their Instagram page, Diamond Club _Canada. You could also use the code We Love Hip Hop and get yourself a little discount. You heard me? Also, as far as other deliveries coming out of Ottawa, if you want same day delivery within Ottawa, or actually just a few hours within Ottawa, hit up Only Loud. Okay, Only Loud has some really, really dope cannabis, and they carry cannabis from different companies. They also deliver across Canada. They can do same day shipping across Canada. So hit them up on their Instagram page, Only Loud Canada. Okay, Only Loud Canada on Instagram. You can also find them on Snapchat at onlyloud.ca. Okay, one more, last one. Big salute to Exotic Hot Pots. They gave me a really, really nice care package here, and they got some really, really dope strains. They're doing delivery within the GTA, and they have merch as well. Hit them up on their Instagram page, Exotic Hot Pots CA, and tell them the We Love Hip Hop boys sent you. My bad. All right. As you can see, I got a little haircut now. You know what I mean? I feel fresher. I feel better. I feel younger. Let yourself be seen. Comment gang strong. Like I said, there is a link in the chat if y'all want to get interactive with us. And make sure, as far as the YouTube audience, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe and leave your comments below. Is there any other topics that y'all want me to get into before we get into the topics that I just listed out here? Young Money says Friday they just revealed what equipment Tory Lanez had in the prison. Really? If that's some breaking news, let me open my Instagram. I'm slacking. Did he post about this on the gram? Because the last thing that we reported on Tory Lanez is that his equipment got stolen, or not stolen, he got raided. He was saying that he was helping the people them in jail. He helped to reopen 472 cases. Let's go to Tory's page quick fast. Tory, let me know where you've seen that too. The last thing I've seen from that is this. Let's go on Keep Six Solid. No. Let me know, Young Money, where you seen that. Breakfast Club exclusive. Oh, let's go over there then. Let's go over to the Breakfast Club. I'm just opening up Windows today right now. Well, let's go over to the Breakfast Club quick fast. Thank you. I like me some breaking news. Breakfast Club. Let's see what's going on over there. And I'm going to put up a poll also about this presidential debates. Let's see. Oh, also, R.I.P. James Earl Jones. I didn't do that earlier. Which clip is it? Let me know, fam. Peace Love says, not Breakfast Club. Well, shit, let me know. Okay, anyhow, before we even get into anything here, let me put up a poll. Because that debate last night was very, very intense. Now, post the debate, and as far as what's been going on, and I know I'm over here in Canada, I was going to say we don't have a dog in the fight, but we do. Whatever happens over there, the repercussions are going to resonate to us over here in Canada, up here in Canada. Who do you think is going to get elected? Who y'all got? Or I'll ask, who's winning the election? All right, Harris or Trump? Because after that debate last night, I know a lot of people were saying that Harris's numbers have been going up higher before the debate, but last night was kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not either a Trump supporter or a Harris supporter. I'm neither. All right. So let's pull up some stuff here. Let me just let's go to my Instagram first, and then we'll go through X, because I know they have a lot of posts on X about this. So
much more in common than what separates us. And we don't want this kind of approach that is just constantly trying to divide us, and especially by race. And let's remember how Donald Trump started. He was he owned land, he owned buildings, and he was investigated because he refused to rent property to Black families. Let's remember, this is the same individual who took out a full-page ad in the New York Times calling for the execution of 5 young Black and Latino boys who were innocent, the Central Park 5. Took out a full-page ad calling for their execution. This is the same individual who spread birther lies about the first Black president of the United States. And I think the American people want better than that, want better than this, want someone who understands, as I do. I travel our country. We see in each other a friend. We see in each other a neighbor. We don't want a leader who is constantly trying to have Americans point their fingers at each other.
Jesus.
I meet with people all the time who tell me, can we please just have discourse about how we're going to invest in the aspirations and the ambitions and the dreams of the American people? Knowing that regardless of people's color or the language their grandmother speaks, we all have the same dreams and aspirations and want a president who invests in those, not in hate and division.
Vice President Harris, thank you. Lindsay?
Watch this.
President Trump, this is now your 3rd time.
This is the most divisive presidency in the history of our country. There's never been anything like it. They're destroying our country, and they come up with things like what she just said, going back many, many years, when a lot of people, including Mayor Bloomberg, agreed with me on the Central Park 5. They admitted, they said, they pled guilty. And I said, well, if they pled...
She hit him in the gut with that Central Park, or the exonerated 5. She hit him in the gut with that one right there.
Guilty, they badly hurt a person, killed a person ultimately. And if they pled guilty, then they pled, we're not guilty. But this is a person that has to stretch back years, 40, 50 years ago, because there's nothing now. I built one of the greatest economies in the history of the world, and I'm going to build it again. It's going to be bigger, better, and stronger.
And the comments have been going wild. When I go through the comments here, and let's make them a little bit bigger. So, Shop Review, salute to the Shop Review. He says they're eating dogs. That's a quote from Trump. They're eating dogs and cats and blah, blah, blah. This guy, Complex_NJ, says, didn't she send hundreds of people to prison over weed? Right, big salute to Bugsy or Benny Black. He's like, Trump. Opie says has a paragraph in here. She says Harris did well because she lied through most of it, and the misinformation and the information don't know any better because people are mentally lazy and already biased. He didn't do a great job breaking down his argument / lies. At the end of the day, through the people, at the end of the day, though, people need to wake the F up and see the whole shit show for what it is. The world stage. It's part of the show. The elites need the people divided, angry, and fighting amongst each other. The debate doesn't even matter because everyone has their own bias confirming what they want to hear. Brainwashed on both sides while thinking the other is impervious to it. Well said. And that's super facts. In the end of the day, people are just going to root for whoever their favorite is. And no matter what the other side says, whether they make a good point or a bad point, they're going to find a way for their favorite to have said the right thing. All right, so there's more comments in here too. She said, Legendary 514 or Legends 514 says she should loose. I guess he meant lose. And this is all Canadian audiences that are giving their opinions on this. You know what I'm saying? When we're watching from the outside, and a few things that she was saying, her being Kamala Harris, that from the outside, a lot of people were looking at American politics, or Trump specifically, what she was saying, as a joke. I can't disagree with her here with that point. I'm just going through Twitter and some of the reactions. Let's play
It's born. Madam Vice President, I want to get your response to President Trump.
Well, as I said,
To those 6 justices.
There is no
Let's find some more clips from this here.
the American people.
Oh, that's mine. That's my clip. What's this guy got to say about this? Let's find some more clips from this.
And this former president.
I know she wanted to say some wild shit like this piece of shit. Let's do this. Trump Harris.
We're not taking anybody's guns away. So stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program. It's got to be smart. We got to do it the right way.
Do you believe in the mandatory buyback of quote unquote assault weapons?
I do
I guess this is a reel of all the lies that she's told.
believe that we need to do buyback. Let's remember Charlottesville, where there was a mob of people carrying tiki torches, spewing anti-Semitic hate. And what did the president then at the time say? There were fine people on each side.
And you had some very bad people in that group. But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, and you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis.
This is good. This is the good breakdown of all of the different talking points that were major talking points last night, and then things that they actually did say.
And the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the Supreme Court had great courage in doing it. And I give tremendous credit to those 6 justices.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born. Madam Vice President, I want to get your response to President Trump.
Tim Walls, babies born alive in botched were left to die, then removed, reporting record.
She was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went.
Where do you stand on defund the police?
Look,
And that
right. So here's the thing. Defund the police. The issue behind it is that we need to reimagine how we are creating safety. And when you have many cities that have 1/3 of their entire city budget focused on policing, we know that is not the smart way and the best way or the right way to achieve safety.
Let's stop there for a second. It was a pretty good debate. Let me go check in the poll here.
When he went to Congress to make a very important speech, she refused to be there because she was at a sorority party of hers.
Right
She
now, it's
went to go to the
50-50 as far as
sorority
who's going to win the
She
election.
hates Israel. If she's president, I believe that Israel will not exist within 2 years from now. And I've been pretty good at predictions, and I hope I'm wrong about that one. She hates Israel. At the same time, in her own way, she hates the Arab population. because the whole place is going to get blown up. Arabs, Jewish people, Israel will be gone. Now Iran has 300 billion, or any of the 28 different spheres of terror, and they are spheres of terror, horrible terror. They had no money. It was a big story.
This is where he was cooking.
And you know it. You covered it very well, actually. They had no money for terror. They were broke. Now they're a rich nation. And now what they're doing is they're spreading that money around. Look at what's happening with the Houthis and Yemen. Look at what's going on in the Middle East.
Hold on. Comic Gang Strong. Peace Love says Friday trying to skip the Israel and Jewish segment. Yeah, that's facts. YouTube does not like that type of rhetoric right there. Big comment over here from Punty 050. I hope they don't get Jamaicans involved in the dog eating ting. I know how they hate Obia magic business already. Persons blue holding pencils, persons. I don't know. That might be a link. Oh, there's a link. I started reading the damn link. Yeah. I think he means everybody. Low key. And I had a slight political debate. And I know there's been way bigger political debates that have been happening. But I had a quick political debate with my girl. And one of the things that I was saying, or what I think, and it doesn't mean, well, it's going to sound crazy. I think Trump is racist. There's a lot of things that maybe people can say that point to him not being a racist. And I'm trying to use the proper YouTube term, so bear with me. But he's just shown himself so many different times in different situations where it's like, oops, that sounds a little racist. But the thing is that's crazy is I think they all are. So voting him in for black people who are Mexicans who were voting Trump, I think they already know that. They know that he's racist. They don't care. He's going to bring the money in. Right? And he's also shown that no matter how much of a racist that he is, he's like, you know what? I'll free Lil Wayne. I'll free Kodak Black. What do you blacks need? I got you. Doesn't take away from the fact that he is, but if he's gonna put it this way, if a racist is gonna help black people, then a lot of black people are just like, you know what, whatever, send on. It doesn't make it right, but it is what it is. But I still do think high key that he's racist.
This would have never happened. I will get that settled and fast, and I'll get the war with Ukraine and Russia ended. If I'm president-elect, I'll get it done before even becoming president.
That look.
Vice President Harris, he says you hate Israel.
That's absolutely not true. I have my entire career and life supported Israel and the Israeli people. He knows that. He's trying to, again, divide and distract from the reality, which is it is very well known that Donald Trump is weak and wrong on national security and foreign policy. It is well known that he admires dictators.
To me, this is better than Kendrick and Drake.
Wants to be a dictator on day one, according to himself.
This guy's on some battle rap shit. What's your rebuttal? So there's been a lot of arguments that have been happening via comments. People have been arguing on road about this. And this is over here in Canada. I'm not even just talking about the United States. In the States, I'm sure it's 10 times worse. All right. I'm sure there's 10 times the political debates that have been going on than over here. But in the end of the day, I feel like it's a shit show. Both people lie. Both parties lie. It's just who lies better. Whose lies can you accept more? All right. Oh, there's a Taylor Swift endorsement.
Debate. Taylor Swift. People have been waiting to hear
Let me
from
turn
Taylor
this up.
Swift because we already know where Beyonce
No,
stands.
nobody was waiting on this.
We already know where Beyonce stands because Freedom
Go
is
to the
Kamala
Breakfast Club.
Harris's campaign song. People were waiting to hear from Taylor Swift. Now, I know y'all want to say I'm a Swiftie, but I am not. What I am doing right now is I'm about to show you guys, once I talk about this, watch how the celebrity of Taylor Swift helps to elevate everything Kamala is
You are
already
ridiculous.
doing.
You would say a white
Everything
woman.
she's
you
already
would say,
doing.
You would give a white woman credit for
White
elevating
woman
Kamala
I
Harris.
didn't give her
Not
credit.
the
I said-
fantastic debate she had last.
Now let's take a read of the caption. So she posted a photo with her cat. Her cat is named Benjamin Button.
Her cat.
She's a cat lady. So she said, like many of you, I watched the debate tonight. She also thinks that the debate was amazing. She's not taken away from the debate.
Hold on, quick fast, just to show y'all what they're talking about. Just to show y'all what they're talking about. I actually went and followed this chick last night. I was like, oh, I never really thought about following Taylor Swift. This is the picture they're talking about. It's a cute cat. Not gonna lie. All right, let's get back to this.
If you haven't already, now is a great time to do your research on the issues at hand and the stances these candidates take on topics that matter to you the most. As a voter, I make sure to watch and read everything I can about their proposed policies and plans for this country. She said recently she was made aware that there was an AI of her falsely endorsing Donald Trump. So she's addressing that and saying that it was posted to his website.
I'm not a Swiftie just because I followed her, but low-key I might be a honorary Swiftie.
Which conjured up her fears around AI, but she just wanted people to know that it was not true. Those are not her plans for this election as a voter. She says that she'll be casting her vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in the presidential election. She's voting for Kamala because she fights for the rights and causes that she believes that America needs a warrior and a champion, and Kamala is that. And she's steady-handed. She's a gifted leader, and she's going to accomplish everything that the country needs. But more importantly, she wanted people to know that she's done her research, she's made her choice, and that they should go out and do the same thing as well, too. And she signed this, a childless cat lady. So that was taking a shot at J.D. Vance.
Oh, that might have been a shot at Travis Kelce.
So, yeah, the Swifties have spoken, or the queen of the Swifties have spoken. I'm going to have to go back to the polls here, our own polls, the We Love Hip Hop political polls that we have here. Maybe they can use that for research for the elections. Okay, they can look back on this YouTube video later and be like, okay, this is what they think over on We Love Hip Hop. Okay, this is exactly what's going to happen in the election. So right now, I ask, who's winning the election? 47% say Harris and 53% say Trump. Okay, I'm not mad at y'all. I am not mad at y'all. Listen, I'm not a political pundit, so I'm not going to stay on this long. We are definitely a hip hop network, but it was exciting shit. You know what I mean? It was exciting to tune into. I watched the whole I think it was almost 3 hours long. Right? Yeah, it was definitely an insightful and exciting piece of content. It was content. Let's move on though. Candace Owens. Candace Owens got demonetized. Let's go. I should have kept my YouTube open. Let's go back up on YouTube. To be honest, I didn't do any pre-research on this topic. I just dived right in. Pause. And wrote it down on my list. But I heard yesterday that she got demonetized. Owens. See? The SEO is strong. Do I want to look at other demonetized guys talk about her being demonetized? Battling with Zionists. Jesus Christ. 1 second. Let's find something. Candace Owens. Okay. Let's go to this one.
Well, it looks like it's Slaughterhouse-5 on YouTube. I don't know what is going on or exactly why people are being demonetized.
Oh, salute to Kim Iverson and her YouTube channel. Salute.
Or ripped off of YouTube. But YouTube has been at this, and it's not just Candace Owens who said today, or actually yesterday, she announced that she has been demonetized from her YouTube channel. that she is not going to be able to make any more money. She received 3 strikes right in a row. So her channel had no strikes previously. Suddenly,
3 strikes in a row.
she's getting 3 strikes right in a row. And now she is permanently demonetized from YouTube. Not only that, but she's not even allowed to post for the next week. Then they'll allow her to post. But my understanding is she'll never be able to make money. She has been taken out of the partner program, and she can reapply in 90 days to potentially see if they'll reconsider monetizing her channel, which is
wow. At least they're letting her reapply. But that also happened with Just Pearly Things, as well as Fresh and Fit. Everybody gets an option to reapply. I'm going to talk to you guys from experience of having my channel demonetized twice in 2023. Didn't happen anytime in 2024, or no, once in 2023, and then shortly after in 2024. So 2 times in an 8-month span. They always give you an option to reapply or to appeal it within 30 days, sometimes 90 days. It depends on what the case is, right? So with all of these different cases, as far as Fresh and Fit, they got to reapply, denied. Same thing with Pearly Things. She reapplied, denied. One of the things they need you to do before you reapply is clean up the problem of why they demonetized you in the first place. The first time that I got demonetized, it was for content that was promoting drugs and violence. All right. Y'all hearing me? Drugs and violence. Now, keep in mind, I have hundreds of interviews that are on the channel that have interviewed guys who are smoking their brains out. This, during the time when we used to pass spliffs, pre-COVID, right? And there was a lot of mother F this, mother F that, mother F this. Okay, so I took that into consideration. And maybe violent topics. Some of my thumbnails weren't always the greatest thumbnails. You understand what I'm saying? And some of the topics and some of the titles weren't always the most mindful titles. So what I ended up doing is I did a quick little autopsy on my page, and I did an 18 and over filter. Maybe I can do it over here, and I'll show you guys what I mean without giving you guys too much of the secret sauce. Let's pull up the Instagrams. Or sorry, let me pull up the back end of my shit. Pause. So if I go and do a filter, and I go age restriction, 18 and over. Let me double check y'all. Seeing this on the screen? Perfect. So if I do 18 and over, and then I apply that, right now you see 0 videos that are 18 and over. At the time when I got demonetized, though, and I did that filter check, it said 120 videos were 18 and over. I'm talking about Young Lava interview, the Full Smiley interview, Shorty Raw interview, a multitude of different interviews and different clips that they had at the 18 and over. So what I ended up doing, long story short, is deleting all of those videos. I obviously backed them up. I posted a lot of those on our backup channel, the We Love Hip Hop Clips channel. But I deleted all those videos, and then I reapplied, and they accepted me back into the partner program. However, I'm not talking about the same types of shit that Cancace Owens is talking about. All right, we get into political topics and what our opinions are on the powers that be, and we talk about. I see some people using the word small hat in the comments. We talk about Jewish people and different things that are going on, but we're not going hard in the paint like Cancace Owens, right? Salute to Dusty Wallace. He goes hard in the paint, but I try to teach him to be as mindful as possible when it comes to getting on these microphones, especially when we're on YouTube.
That never happens. I don't know of anybody who's ever received their monetization back after 90 days. So
No. See, perfect. See, I'm glad I just explained that, because I did. 2 times.
She has been fully demonetized from YouTube. 3 strikes in a row. Not sure exactly. It seemed like it was the Kanye.
Oh, sorry. Last thing. I don't mean to keep stopping it. I didn't have a bunch of strikes when they gave me the demonetization. They just demonetized me. I didn't get a notification. Hey, these videos are videos in question. You might want to watch that type of content. No, I just woke up, got an email, said, you are demonetized, sir. Deal with it.
West interview that she did. She did end up posting that onto Twitter today, so you can watch that interview, but apparently that is what got her the strike. But 3 strikes for that one video seems a little bit odd. Seems like maybe they would have hit her on other things.
Hold on, what video are they talking about?
Her. She did end up posting that onto Twitter for 90 days. So she has been fully demonetized from YouTube. 3 strikes in a row. Not sure exactly. It seemed like it was the Kanye West interview that she did. She did end up posting that onto Twitter today, so you can watch that interview, but apparently that is what got her the strike. But 3 strikes for that one video seems a little bit odd. Seems like maybe they would have hit her on other things, but they're clearly going after her for anti-Semitism, right? That's what they're claiming. They're saying that she's an anti-Semite. And by the way, I want to point out,
is that video still there? 1 second. And I'm not going to play it because, yo, that's crazy. Kanye. Somebody might have reposted it. It's out of here. Maybe we can refine the search a bit. Interview. Let's do that. Maybe. Oh, bro. Fucking with that Kanye guy. I know it's not just the Kanye, but if I know the Kanye is just a good way to just kind of stick it to. And you had Kanye on your podcast, and that Kanye West interview that they're talking about. Oh man, that's crazy. That Kanye West interview that they're talking about right there. That's an interview that she had in the vault. She had done that interview. I remember her talking about it. She said she did the interview and she was holding on to it. And even the way that they produced it was just like the mic was in the middle of the room. It was weird. 1 second. Let's do this. Candace Owens. I can't type today. Kanye West. I'm sure there's clips on you. See, look.
To appeal to both sides and find that place of happiness. There's things where like Trump and
listen, I have to proceed with caution. I have to proceed with extreme caution when reviewing anything, because you never know what's going to come out of this crazy nigga's mouth. Pause. All right.
On what they're doing for there to be happiness in the world. We can't just say, oh, it's okay for people to like super complicate deals and to collude on deals and to not look at us as human beings, as artists and athletes and actors, that we have to be willing to like stand up for that to be able to change something. And we need to come together as a society to be the first civilization that actually became civil, to stop war. Like people, it's a possibility of having a worldless world where the human species is not at war with each other, but we
now yeah, I have to just make sure to keep on monitoring what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? You could just go off the handle.
are more sophisticated because of social media.
Kanye will just be saying some smart shit and be like, "Cause of the Jews." Whoa, calm, yo, hey. You didn't have to go that far, bro.
Because of the information that we have now, and we got to have people like us and God using us to push that to to the next side. We got to get control of our country.
So this is one of the interviews in question, or the interview in question that they're saying was one of the strikes. Ooh. Kanye. Your boy Kanye got you put in YouTube jail, fam. That's crazy. Let's go back to Shorty over here.
That is coming from the right. That is not the left that is censoring her. That pressure is mostly coming from the right. There is definitely.
Hold on. Bring it back. Heal up, reel up, bring it back. Come, rewind.
Right. But 3 strikes for that one video seems a little bit odd. Seems like maybe they would have hit her on other things, but they're clearly going after her for anti-Semitism, right? That's what they're claiming. They're saying that she's an anti-Semite. And by the way, I want to point out that that is coming from the right. That is not the left that is censoring her. That pressure is mostly coming from the right. There's a lot of left-wing desire to censor and curb anti-Semitism, what they're calling anti-Semitism, but that is more something that sentiment is shared more on the right than I think on the left.
And keep in mind, she came from the Daily Wire. She was let go from the Daily Wire, let's say 4 months ago now, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. She was let go from the Daily Wire, which is a heavily... Oh man, they got a lot of power. It's run by the chapeau.
But Candace Owens is the latest in the slaughterhouse that is YouTube. If you guys remember, we had a guest on the show on Friday.
And obviously, the Daily Wire is super right wing. You know what I'm saying? Brett Cooper, also chapeau, right?
Who had been also censored from YouTube. He recently, just the last couple of weeks, received a couple of strikes from YouTube. So he's not allowed to post or he's not allowed to stream. And the videos that they were going after him for were from 7 years ago. So what YouTube is doing is they're scouring your pages. They're looking through all of the content that you've ever posted. And even if when you posted it, it didn't violate community guidelines, if it violates their ever evolving community guidelines today, and you posted it 7 years ago, but it's still on your channel, they will dock you for that. They will actually hit
That's a fact.
you for that and give your channel a strike, which is really.
Now, maybe for the people who might not understand that completely, YouTube's terms and conditions or their community guidelines are consistently changing. They've changed a lot over the years. If you go look at some of the older content on YouTube, it was very Jackass-esque. You can do stunts on YouTube. You could push somebody down a hill in a shopping cart. YouTube still deals with a lot of very low or lowly produced content, for lack of a better terms. But back then, you used to be able to get away with a lot of crazy shit. Entertainment, fights. Yeah, you used to be able to see full out Kimbo Slice fights on YouTube. People beating the shit out of each other, blood. And those YouTube channels, cannabis content. I don't know if you guys ever noticed, even with our content. Yes, we're the world's most smoked out podcast. This is true. And big salute to the sponsors. I deal with, loud sponsors. But I'm very selective with my words. I'm very selective with even showing the exposed loud on camera. Maybe people might see me chiefing a little bit over here on live, but when I edit the podcast, you never see smoking. It's just not even a thing. Where back in the days, you used to see us chiefing it down. Now we're still, chiefing. Don't get that twisted. But I'll show you. We love hip hop. Okay, I got some hap. ASAP Rocky. I have a spliff in my hand. This is Drake.
How was that happy?
You'll never see a time. Yeah.
Like you were supposed to have my back. You know what I'm saying?
Was he?
Yeah.
But right? You see me right there? Hold on. Let me go back right there quick, fast. I'm trying to make a point here.
and he's a respectable person, and I think he's a good role model compared to a lot of other rappers, you know?
Yeah. Now, seeing that freeze frame, I'm there working with the blunt. I'm there fixing it because I'm about to puff it on camera. Yeah.
But
you'll never see that.
He just fumbled his like perception.
Not anymore.
Yeah. And I don't think.
Oh, see, smoke trailing off of Friday's face because I just took a draw of the spliff while Czar's talking right here. I'm drawing the spliff, but if I keep the full shot, right? Because I do the edits. If I keep the full shot and I'm just doing this, this video will not get monetized. And if I do that over and over and over and over again, where I'm just crumble, let's smoke. Like, because I think like sometimes even people get a misconception when they come over to the podcast. They're like, oh yeah, man, I want to come over to We Love Hip Hop podcast and we're going to smoke and go crazy. Ha. And I'm like, it's not that serious. Let's just come through and talk, man. Don't get too lifted because I don't want you to not be able to answer the questions properly. And two, like, I don't want to have to cut mad shit out the video. So if you're not a big smoker, don't come up there on the podcast and try to impress us. It's not even worth it. You know what I'm saying? Keep it clean and try to keep it down on the cursing. Right? Like I curse, I say shit on these streams and stuff like that, but I rarely say the word fuck. All right, I just said it now.
Scary, I think.
I'm not going to say it again for probably another 10 minutes maybe because I know the algorithm.
This has really made me reconsider keeping all of my videos on YouTube. I think I'm going to have to go back this weekend or this next week when the show is on vacation, and I'm going to have to scrub my YouTube channel because I don't want them to go back in time and say, well, Kim, you said this one thing and we don't allow that anymore. We just, at the time, you weren't.
Facts. I actually was thinking about the same thing. Like, I need to go do another little autopsy, go check back and see if there's anything that's a little bit too edgy and delete that.
Weren't breaking our guidelines, but we don't allow it anymore. And suddenly I'm
Darkside, what up?
demonetized from YouTube. So Cancace is the latest one. Lauren Chen, we talked about her last week. So Lauren Chen.
Okay, I don't care about Lauren Chen. Sorry. We care about Cancace. She black. Let's go to her channel. I've been watching her videos. And
All right, guys, welcome to another special.
I'm not even subscribed. There we go. Bang. So let's go to some of the videos here, because she just started reposting on her video on her channel. Let's say, hold on, there's gonna be a gap. Okay, 3 months ago.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen.
Episode 1 was 3 months ago. When was that? That was June 10th, 2024. So just back in June, she started getting back to it. This is literally right after she left the Daily Wire. Or the Daily Wire let her go. She started back her YouTube channel. God damn. From June to September, and they already demonetized you? Holy shit. That was quick when you really think about it. Now that I really take it in, that is quick. Look at this. Because the last post that she had before that is when she was still working for the Daily Wire, which was 6 months ago. So she started back. She got episode 1 of her podcast going. Let's see some of these titles. Just got I got fired. The real reason my show was canceled. Okay, that probably wasn't helping. Cancace plus Yay episode coming soon. That's not helping. Why does Nikki Haley love Israel more than the U.S.? Listen, she's entitled to her opinion, and this is what she does. This is the area of YouTube that she's in. But just the word Israel in your title, fam, you're asking for it. You have to calm down, Bridget. Black America can no longer be controlled. This is the thing about Amber Rose, Candace Owens versus. Hold on, let me just try to find some title that I feel that might be problematic. Shocking revelations about 9/11. Great debate: Israel versus Palestine. That's a problematic title. Just don't even use the words. We talk about this shit. I just don't post the shit. And don't get me wrong, it's not right to be censoring somebody. I don't think it's right. I think it's trash to be censoring Candace Owens, but I can't go again. I can't tell YouTube what to do as far as with their community guidelines. Why I left religion, and then she's talking about my youth here, friggin' Andrew Tate. Literally Hitler. Like, come on, broski. Like this title right here, literally H guy. Why can't we talk about him? Well, I'll tell you why, Candace, because you're going to get demonetized. Did she bring Alex Jones on her freaking channel? Yo, she's a mod woman, eh? There's no way, like, for her to clean this up. And if I was somebody who was going to help her, like, do an autopsy on her channel, yeah, all those videos got to go. You can't even change the title. Just delete them. And it sucks because they're all doing great. All her videos do 500,000 plus, or at least close to 500,000 views. 1 million in 2 months over here. Like, she's cooking. She was probably making some good bread too. Oh. Listen, man, pray for Candace Owens. The more I look through this, the more it's just hurting my feelings. Jesus Christ. Another one bites the dust. Listen, last thing quick fast on this. When I was going through my little shit, just for the money that I make on YouTube, I was like, God damn. That helps with rent. There's a lot that can be done just from a little bit of YouTube money. But the amount of views that she was getting for each clip that she was putting up, she's probably hurt. Well, she's got a rich husband, so in the end of the day, she'll be fine. But yeah, that sucks. Her pride's probably hurting. Her pockets are okay, but her pride's hurting. Okay. In the end of the day, like I remember, she's got a rich husband. She'll be all right. Shake it off and reapply in 3 months. But I'm gonna move on. I did an interview. Actually, a quick breaking. I don't know if it's breaking news. And I'm gonna proceed with caution. Oh my God, my youth. Unk. Hold on, I'll pull up what I'm looking at. I'm on Facebook. I rarely pull up Facebook on the screen for y'all. Apparently, Shanon Sharp accidentally went live while working vigorously with some woman's innards. This is his response. Beware. My Shanon Sharp Instagram was hacked this morning. My team and I are working vigorously to figure this out. Unk. So there's some breaking news, and I'm not going to play the video. We're not going to do that. That Shanon Sharp has a video that just was released of him smashing out a ting. Going to Pound Town. Right? And apparently it got leaked. The truth says he was eating Michelle's box. That's the woman he works with, no? Ooh. X-Files sounds. Hey. Man, I don't know about the whole hack thing, because I feel that Shanon Sharp has learned over the last few months, especially with the Cat Williams interview. Oh, it wasn't leaked. He went live on IG. Yeah, that's what it says here in the caption. He went live on IG. You know what they'd be saying when people go live on IG by mistake? I seen somebody else talking about this. I don't know how to use the app sometimes, or I don't be knowing what these buttons do. I pressed the wrong button by mistake, and I sent this story out. I thought I was sending it to my private group, but I ended up sending it to everybody. I need my assistant usually helps me with this shit. Or he could have just pocket lived. You know what I mean? They could have been in the heat of the moment. He's got her ass cheeks spread out. He's having a feast. And by mistake, his toe hits the phone. Boop. And the app just happens to be open. And let's do this, because there's steps to this shit. Y'all see this on the screen there? I got to go to the bottom. And then I got to go to where the live is, live. And now the live part is open. So did you see right there? That was a 3-step process for me to open the live part of the Instagram app. I'm going to call Cap. And then this whole thing, what's he saying here? His Shanon Sharp 84 Instagram account was hacked. Are you sure about that, bro? Are you sure? Because by the time we get now to the next piece of content that Shanon Sharp puts out, whether it's the other podcast that he does or the Club Shay Shay show, everybody's going to want to know what does Shanon Sharp have to say about the leak. So I don't know. I'm not going to stay on this too long, right? About Matt and his Johnsons leaking. I think it's just par for the course. If you're trying to get popping, Friday Ricky Dread sex tape coming soon. That's all I got on that. Salute to Shanon Sharp. I did an interview not too long ago with a gentleman who interviewed Dr. Umar not too long ago. Y'all seen the interview with Dr. Umar? Big salute to, and I'll pull it up on the screen here. I was wondering, where the hell is this interview? I feel like these niggas, we did this shit like a long time ago. So big salute to Hustle Over Everything. Big salute to the homie Marlon Palmer, a.k.a. the Oxtail God. They had the both of us over there just to go through their channel. These are the guys who interviewed, they did the interview with Dr. Umar, which went viral. What's pissing me off of that interview, and I told him during this interview, was the fact that a lot of people reviewed it, but they didn't give them the credit.
Adoration that African people had towards traditional African spirituality. And that's why when people hear the word voodoo, they think of zombies and raising dead people and putting hexes on people. It's not about that. Now, I'm Ifa, which is separate.
And if you see the studio being a different place, it's because they actually went to the States to go film this.
The hip-hop community is almost a black bourgeoisie of its own.
Right.
We don't see it as that because they act like they from the hood. But think about it. They're not from the hood no more.
So just to give you guys some context of who these gentlemen are. So they invited myself, and when I was on the way, they let me know, hey, by the way, we also have Marlon Palmer popping up for this podcast episode that you're going to be doing. And I was like, great, because to be honest, Marlon is one of the only, if not the only podcaster that I really, really respect out here in Toronto. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all can clip me on this, but he's the only other one who's been consistently doing a podcast this whole time, even longer than I have. All right, so thanks for inviting us over here. Let's pull up some of the. I'll play the intro, and then I have a few points that I want to bring up.
It's a
no
fact.
high key.
Who else had a charter school? Was it did he had a charter school?
Yeah.
Like
did have a charter school?
How old were the?
This guy's crazy. But I'm just saying, like, you can't think of things. I think he's thinking of things on a very macro lens.
Yeah.
And you have to look at small efforts. Like everything counts.
Mm-hmm.
And like, even though things may not change overnight, nothing's even if say hip hop artists open supermarkets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now what? Now you just got to sustain that. That when it's got that big sponsor, it got those big, because now you have to operate a certain way. It's just like,
so we talked about a lot of different things here in our conversation. We got into some real Toronto based topics as far as the Toronto hip hop scene as well. So I'll play some stuff from there, and then I'll ask y'all some questions.
Weekend.
Oh man, why you do that, man?
Took away 2 people.
Sean Leon's on.
Okay.
Where obviously there are many artists that get.
So they asked who we have as our top 5 Toronto rappers right now. And I'm going to remind you guys in the comments, Comment Gang Strong, there's a link at the top of the chat if you want to join the conversation. Big salute to Down to Earth in the chat right now. If y'all want to join this conversation, I would advise you to pull up. But we discussed who we think are our top 5 Toronto rappers. And I really felt that this was a good part of the content because it's 5 different opinions from different people and different points of views and different walks of life in the city. Obviously, we all have things in common, but we're all different. You know what I'm saying? So it was good to get different people's points of views.
Get jerked and get
Atlantic Records.
I mean,
it's nepotism, man.
Why wouldn't I?
Form.
Why I'd do the same thing?
Yeah.
Nothing changes.
There's gonna be people who are the exception songs that are always played in the top 40 list.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then every once in a while, a DJ will introduce something new. But for the most part, you're listening to the same shit.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what's your top 5 Canadian artists right now? Besides Drake and The Weeknd.
Canadian artists.
Man,
why you do that, man?
Took away 2 people.
And let me know
Sean
what
Leon's on that list. Always.
Let me know who y'all have as your top 5 as well.
Daniel Caesar's on that list. Always. Cardinal's always on that list. Who else? I'll go with Party. And this last one's tough. I can't pick the fifth one's always the
Give to
toughest.
someone local, like someone that you just know.
They're all local.
No, but like I mean, like someone more.
Oh, okay,
not
like
worldwide.
Hold on. There was the question: artist or rappers? That's a good
this
question.
last one's tough.
Weekend.
Oh man, why you?
Weekend.
For the most part, if anybody's under the label or any type of machine, right, they're going to get pushed. They're going to get put in the algorithm higher. You know what I mean? They're going to get promotion posts. They're going to get, billboards, anything that you need so that they're put in front of the masses' face.
Yeah.
Right. So the masses are choosing from what's in front of them. You know what I mean, there's people who you're on radio. There's a
Ricky
playlist of
dropping
songs
the
that are
jewels.
always played in the top 40 list.
Yeah.
You know what
Sean Leon's on.
I mean? That's the question. But for the most part, you're listening to the same shit.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Speaking of which, what's your top 5 Canadian artists right now?
Artist.
Besides Drake and The Weeknd.
Oh man, why you do that, man?
Took away 2 people.
Sean Leon's on that list. Always. Daniel Caesar's on that list. Always. Cardinal's always on that list.
Keep in mind also that Marlon is a heavy R&B guy.
Who else? I'll go with Party. And this last one's tough. I can't pick the fifth one's always the
Give to
toughest.
someone local, like someone that you just know.
They're all local.
No, but like I mean, like someone more.
Oh, okay,
not
like
worldwide.
John Vinyl. John Vinyl's fire.
Shout out John Vinyl.
Yeah.
So y'all know who John Vinyl is? Or you're asking Toronto?
Yeah, just
Top 5 Toronto artists.
Criteria, please.
It's not drink time, bro.
No, well, it's like
Actually, it is drink
of
time.
all
Whoever you want.
time. Sorry, I had to ask. Am I his hottest?
Let's do top 5 hottest artists in the city right now.
Okay, thank you. Because you gotta understand, I get in trouble with lists. You know what I'm saying?
Fair.
Gotta be top 5 hottest in the city right now. Okay, good question. That's Toby. I would put him in there. I still think Pressa is one of the hottest artists out of the city. Who else?
I think his
Who else?
brother is sick.
Yeah.
That Ibiza song,
Bundog.
Bundog, yeah.
that Ibiza song is hard.
Havaya Mighty.
Shout out Havaya. Shout out Omega as well.
Who else?
Double M.
Oh, Double M.
Double M.
She's hard.
She's to me is my favorite
she's like the
female.
best rapper.
She's my
Double M.
favorite female artist in the city.
And I'm kind
And
of
she's
biased
fire.
when it comes to that because she is one of my favorites as well.
I
Like,
think
she
Drake
can-
should sign her.
She's
Yeah.
fire.
I think Drake
Yeah.
should sign her.
She has like the look, she has the rap, she has everything. She's
Everything.
fire.
How's my list so far? So I said Toby, Havaya Mighty, Pressa, Double M. And Double M, I'm just going from a talent standpoint. I know she hasn't really reached to the same levels as those other artists, but from a talent standpoint, she's on her way and consistency.
And her stage presence is insane.
Yeah, I got one more. Sad Boy.
Yep.
Ooh.
Sad Boy's killing shit right
I'm
now.
gonna put my 5 in there.
You see my list? My list has actually more women on the list than men right now. Is my list correct? Am I off? As far as talent in the city right now, who's shining too? Am I off? What did I say? Toby, Pressa, Havaya Mighty, Double M, and Sad Boy. So 3 women and 2 men. That's crazy. Good for you, Friday. Yeah.
Sad Boy is easily the hottest artist, I think, in the city right
pretty
now.
much.
Go ahead, Isaac.
I'm gonna
Who's top 5?
say Kid Quasi. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
Yeah,
Quasi
Quasi.
is super hard, bro. I'm gonna say Tome.
Yep.
Tome's dope.
She's
I
great.
love her music. I'm gonna say Double M. She's super fire. She's mad consistent. Like every track she drops, hard,
Bars.
and she's fire too. I'm gonna say Toby. I rock with, and then
Fifth one's always just the most
Fifth one's
difficult.
nasty. 50. You know,
And the reason I like this brother's opinions right here because we're talking from a younger standpoint too.
Very shout out to Uncle Bushman.
John Kabongo.
Yeah,
I
salute
don't- is
John
that his name?
Kabongo.
That's his
Yeah,
name, right?
yeah,
John
yeah.
Kabongo.
Mhm.
He's
I've heard
hard.
of
Like
him.
he's putting in. I like the work that he's putting in. It's very much true to music. Has nothing to do with anything else other than music and his passion. So I super rock with that. Same thing with Kid Quasi, bro. Quasi, you guys got to check out Kid Quasi. Hard.
Yeah, and Kabongo has a really dope backstory also with
Yeah,
the basketball
ball
and the
and everything.
teaching.
So
and
he
everything.
is those brothers.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I was
yeah.
thinking, I'm
From
like,
Ball.
I
Yeah,
only
yeah.
ever hear that name with those
Ball.
that.
Down to Earth wants to know now which out of them has an album. I know Toby just dropped an album. I think it's called Panic that dropped not that long ago. John Kabongo had, I think it was an EP that had dropped not that long ago. Sad Boy dropped an album last year. Now she's dropping new shit, but or maybe she's still promoting shit off the album. Juicy Hamburger says Dr. Bushman had hard, but he never drops. Yeah, he hasn't been dropping lately. He kind of slowed down a lot. There was a point in time back in 2022, 2023 that Dr. Bushman was going crazy and also dropped an album. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these artists, when I go do my research to go do the interviews with them, that's when I go through their Spotify profiles and stuff like that. And granted, there's a lot of newer ones that I've interviewed over the years where when I go through their Spotify profile, they literally have like a list of songs, not one project put together. But for the majority of artists who I've interviewed, and I'm talking about from the gulliest of gulliest, these niggas got projects upon projects, albums, whatever they want to call them, mixtapes, but they got them. Like you can find, like Casper has like probably like 3-4 albums.
Yeah.
So
I
break him down.
interviewed
I've
him
never
not
heard
too
him
long
before.
ago.
Break him down real quick.
So he was a ball player. I'm not sure if he got
So to
injured.
John
or something
Kamala,
happened.
he messed up his back, man.
Yeah, he got injured. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
he went up for a dunk, and then somebody undercut him, and he fell on his back. Fucked up his whole career.
Yeah. And he's
Damn.
kind of dedicated to, it seems like he's dedicated to music now.
Mhm.
I worked with him on it was like a clothing brand shoot. I got to meet him. I ended up driving him to the next location, and he was just playing his music in my car. And I'm like, bro, like, I had to ask the man, like, yo, what's your sound? And he's like, bro, I don't have a sound. I do music. I'm like, oh.
We had a really dope Toronto discussion when it came to this, and we got into a bunch of other topics, but
Same thing, because WWE for grown people is.
So when I listen to people from Toronto,
okay, this is something that kind of like hit me in the chest a little bit, and I want to ask you guys, do you guys have a bias when you listen to artists from Toronto talking about street shit and gangster shit? Like, does it hit you differently where you don't want to hear certain mans talking about certain things, but you're okay with listening to it from American rappers? Like, do you have a implicit bias for your own city? Like, nah, don't talk that shit over here, B. We ain't about that shit. Even though, you know, from statistics, you can see there's a lot of hoods out here. There's a lot of poverty. So with poverty comes gangster shit, you know, street shit. Do you guys not like when Toronto rappers talk about street shit, but, you know, will rather hear it just from the American artist? And this is the point that this gentleman makes right here. Outside and just go put up a flyer. I'm going to be over here for the next month. Like, yeah, right.
So actually, I'm happy you brought that up, because I think you'd be the best person to provide an opinion on it. So for me, I like gangster music, but I can't listen to gangster music from Toronto. The reason specifically why is because I'm from the hood in Toronto. I've lost family, friends to gun violence here. So when I listen to people from Toronto speak on those type of stuff, it doesn't make me cringe, but it kind of makes me sad. Like, I can't actually listen to it because I've experienced a lot of these things firsthand. Now, when I'm listening to somebody from New York or Chicago or LA or whatever talk about it, I'm cool with that. They have an accent. They're doing completely different things from people that I actually know and grow up around. And, you know, I'm removed from it. So I'm able to accept it more. Do you think that right now, today, if an artist was to start rapping for the first time and he wanted to just talk about his story, whether if it's his friend's story or somebody he grew up around or his personal story, and it happens to be within that field, the gangster, the crazy stuff, do you think that that's the right path to go? And do you think that you can actually hit the next level starting in that type of music? I actually want your real opinion on that.
It depends. If that's the person's real reality, like, how are they going to talk about something else? I don't condone the whole next level of what people added with the smoking on ops and all that. But like, if your lifestyle was shitty and you came up, you know, 5 people in the bedroom and roaches in the cereal, and then you started selling drugs from 13 and all that, then I want to hear that. Let me just go quickly through the comments right here. Comment gang strong. I understand even what this brother's saying. When it hits close to home, it kind of hits different. When you know these different individuals, I always say over and over again, Toronto's a big small city, right? Like, yes, it takes a while to get around this whole city, but everybody knows each other in some kind of way, connected in some kind of way, cousin, family, went to school, played in some kind of ball tournaments. There's some kind of connection. The degrees of separation is even less than 6 degrees. For the most part, I think it's even like 4 degrees of separation when we're talking about Toronto. But so I do understand when people hear a rapper who's talking about smoking somebody else, or, you know, their experiences in the street, and people that they might have to lay out and shit like that, and say to themselves, well, listen, I actually know the people you're talking about. I get it. But my thing is, we can't have it both ways. If you're not going to listen to the Toronto rapper, then you can't listen to the Chicago rapper neither. Because then it's still helping to perpetuate the cycle of violence if you continue to ingest the content. If you're still listening to Chicago rappers or New York Joe rappers talking about shooting each other, we're still part of the problem. That's my whole thing. what I want to ask you also before I finish answering the question is, are you accepting of the fact that you're a little bit biased when it comes to that?
Yes, 100%. I know
Because
I'm
you can't
biased.
like enjoy Cameron talking about shooting somebody in the face.
Yeah.
But then, can't say, I don't like Thoroughbred talking about that shit.
But and that's the thing. Like that's why I started off with like I make an actual distinction with people from here and people in the States. I know that it's because I'm removed. Why I enjoy it.
I think people
know
also look at hip hop as like WWE in a sense as well.
Mhm.
I think that's a part of the problem is, and it's like it's weird because like you'll have grown adults who, well, no, I guess it's the exact same thing because WWE for grown people is pretty popular as well. It's not just for kids or anything like that.
It's a grown man soap opera.
Probably more popular.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that hip hop is the same thing for the Black community. And I think that people just take it too far, kind of like sports, where it's like you ride with this one character for so long. And like, if anybody goes against your character, they're trying to ruin they're trying to take the belt. You know what I mean? Like, and so you got to ride and go crazy.
You're almost there with that analogy. It used to be CNN and it became WWE.
Yeah.
Salute to Hustle Over Everything. Go check out this interview. Go tap in. Leave your comments below. It's 2 hours and 37 minutes. It's not even an interview. It's a conversation. We talked about a lot of different topics in this, and support these guys. They got a new podcast popping off. They went viral with this Dr. Umar interview, so they're definitely on a great roll. So salute to them. Let's move on, though. Let us move on. Hit that like button for anybody who's just tapping in right now. Share this across all your platforms. There was a conversation that's been popping up over and over again when it comes to over here on the podcast. I've discussed this over here on live. I've had I won't call it a debate, but a conversation with my podcast host. Big salute to Dusty Wallace. Big salute to DJ Czar. I think the last time I had a conversation about this was with DJ Czar, and it's about immigration here in Canada, specifically Toronto and Ontario, and the ways that we've been dealing with it. There's been a lot of, I guess, underlying conflict between the Black and Brown community, where a lot of people, not even just the Black and Brown community, the Brown community and just other communities here in Canada, where a lot of sentiments are, they're taking our jobs. They're doing some crazy shit in places where that doesn't usually happen. What happened to Dundas Square? What's going on Wasaga Beach? These guys are shitting on the beach and the tents and all types of wild stuff. So I can understand that it seemed a little bit divisive. Now I was watching on my Instagram, and Roadrunner chimed in, who's Roadrunner's Pakistani, right? If I'm not mistaken. He's definitely a very light South Asian person, but South Asian nonetheless. And I think he's been seeing a lot of people talking about this. All the conversations have been going viral about it. Anytime that we talk about it on the channel, including now, it goes crazy. So I'll play this.
There's nobody I feel more bad for than brown people that have been living here since the early 2000s. Because we were living here peacefully until a small minority of brown people came along and messed it up for everybody, wallahi. And you know which ones I'm talking about. It's the ones that are young and Dundas every night. Dancing. Tunuk, tunuk, tun, tunuk, tunuk, tun. Go home.
Roadrunner's crazy.
Brother.
Go home, brother.
Because now they all want us out of here. And I ain't leaving. You don't have to leave either. Just fix up. Yo, there's nobody I feel more bad for.
Yeah. Roadrunner has spoken. And I'm going to tread lightly, but I guess I can get where he's coming from when it comes to that, because that's the sentiment that a lot of people who've been here for a long time have been feeling when it comes to this. They're like, yo, bro, Don't mess it up for the rest of us. You're making us look crazy.
Yo.
And I could also understand this as, you know, a product of immigration. I feel the same way when it comes to my own people. Right? I'm looking for something here in my mentions, because there was somebody who was rebuttaling me when it came to shitting on the beach. Maybe I could still find that. Nah, it's gone. But yeah, I have that same issue, or I've had that same issue with my own people. Okay, I'm from Barbados. You know, I've had a lot of my own family members or friends or a family that come down and they're here for the first time. They got to figure out, okay, this is what's customary out here. You know, this is how, when I go to get a job, this is how I go to get it. Because, you know, unfortunately, when it comes to us, we don't own a lot of shit. So we got to assimilate a little bit easier or a little bit quicker, let me say, if we want to make sure that we get a job when people are coming from Jamaica, different places like that. Where I feel like, I think what Roadrunner and is feeling, and I'm not going to speak for him exactly, but a lot of people are feeling, is if the immigration gets so unbalanced, where, you know, a bunch of people are owning different things, then, you know, there's not going to be any room for anybody else to get no jobs. Not even room for nobody else to get no jobs. You're not going to get it. You know what I'm saying? The person who owns the shop is not going to hire your ass. It's the whole Kendrick Lamar, you're not like us bullshit. So I understand where Roadrunner's coming from. I could understand where a lot of other people are coming from, but it doesn't make it right. You know what I mean? Like, we got to maybe figure out a way of getting along over here a little bit better. Let me see if I can find some other things on this, because it's been a wild conversation. Let's go on Keep Six's page, because I know they had posted something about this. But to finish my point, at the same time, like, yo, they might have to slow down a little bit on just letting any and everybody into this mofo. Just give me a quick second. Let me just do a quick search, because it's a common conversation that happens over here in our city. Let me also let me know what y'all think about this too, man. Has there been an immigration issue that's been happening in Canada over the last, let's say, 7 years? Juicy Hamburger said the economy is cooked. Yeah, that's a fact. But I don't know if that's if that attributes to the economy being cooked. You know what I'm saying? Let's do this. Let's do some quick searches over here to see if there's any other conversations about this. Well, salute to Roadrunner, man. I'm going to go on my YouTube, because we were having a conversation about it the other day, and it got kind of heated. I won't say heated. I'll say it got passionate. Salute to Dusty Wallace. But he was making some good points. And I will pull it up right here.
In terms of Canadian identity, like the French Canadian aspect isn't improving, and most of them are farmers. The weight of,
and is that on them, or is that the government who made the prices too high?
well, it's the government, because of now they've seen how easy it was to manipulate a certain group of people to come here and work for free, pretty much. I believe there are modern day slaves just behind a check.
I feel like it's hard to like.
They're coming for a check. They're not coming for the way of living. The way of Canadian living was a peaceful way of, hey, you talk to your neighbor, you say hello. They sang the Canadian national anthem in the morning at school. That doesn't go down no more. Go to a school for a day. That's not going down.
What?
They sing it in Punjab. My daughter told me that. My daughter goes to a school with predominantly.
They sing it in Punjabi?
They're singing the Punjabi way. What the? Thank you. Walk off a set. I feel the.
Hold on, let me read this comment right here. Comment Gang Strong, Punty 050 says, Canada had to change up the food service serving culture years ago by using gloves, because a lot of different cultures wipe their bottoms with their bare hands and hands washing. That's crazy. You ain't right, bro. Just chill. Peace Love wants to know, says Friday, maybe do content videos revolving around new immigrants in Canada and Canadians taking in one room. Yeah, that happens. Right. There's been definitely, and I'll play this for a second and I'm gonna pull up another video.
Do the same thing. It's a serious thing I go on here, dog. Send them blood clot back home. They must go back home. Because at the end of the day, right, the agriculture side to our living here isn't improving, and most of them are farmers, right? They're going into security. People still getting shot. You know what I mean? When you go to a mall or something, stuff is still getting stolen. So how much security are they doing? It's really you go down to Dundas Square now, it's not like how it used to be where you can see a whole wide spread of people. No, bro. People are complaining about poo in the sands at beaches and stuff. Like, brother, what kind of thing is this going on? This
Somebody
is
try
not
to fight me in the comments on that too.
This is not the Canadian way of living, bro. The Canadian way of living is being peaceful with your neighbor. A lot of guys I know work amongst them, and they don't even speak to the people that have been there before them who speak English.
Spitting facts right now. I'm gonna pull up a video here that I just found on YouTube as well on this topic. As far as the topic of just living, like multiple people living in just trying to make that happen, just because the city's so super expensive to live in. Oh, what's this? Here's why immigrants are leaving Canada. Should you too? What's this? Hold on, let me pull up this first. Oof. There's bare videos on this shit.
At what cost, though? How is Trudeau's politics even helping Canada in any case? Let me answer that from an Indian perspective. You know, there was a time when Indians wanted to move to Canada. They would enroll into Canadian universities in the hope to land a job in Canada, eventually become a PR or a permanent resident of Canada, and then gradually become a Canadian citizen. This was the Canadian dream, but this dream has now become a nightmare. The story of the nightmare revolves around the life of an expat in Canada. It starts with the question, what happens once you land in Canada? Is your life as smooth as you have imagined it to be? Is your life as beautiful as the meadows of Canada? Or are people cold
Just to give some credit, this is from Weon YouTube channel.
to you? Do they discriminate against you? Well, as per data from Statistics Canada, 17.5% immigrants who arrived in Canada between 1982 and 2017 left the country within 20 years. They emigrated.
Did y'all know that?
Again, they packed their bags and left the country they had hoped to make their home. And why do you think that is?
Tell us, please.
The report points at some of the possible reasons. One, immigrants face difficulty trying to integrate into Canada. Two, finding a job in Canada isn't all that easy. Same with finding a place. It's not that easy. That's point number three. This is Canada's harsh reality.
This is what she's gonna get to the place too, getting places.
It has come to the fore over the past few years, and before that, life in Canada was considered to be a bed of roses. Well, it's not. It never really has been. Today, youngsters emigrating to Canada are struggling to find jobs that match their skill sets and also pay them well. Many are complaining about higher taxes, high housing costs. We have been telling you about Canada's housing crisis for a while now. The country is not constructing enough housing units.
She's going in. She's speaking facts, though.
As per government data, there is a shortfall of around 345,000 housing units across Canada. And to top that, record high interest rates have made the new housing units extremely expensive for most people. Students are being forced to cough up abysmally high rents. It does not get better for them, given there is also a shortage of part-time jobs. So the end result is a nightmare, not just for people who are in Canada on a student visa, but children of immigrants who are fresh out of school and are looking to live independently and become financially independent. Millions of people have.
Wow. Hold on. There's another video. She's not wrong. She's speaking facts. This is a country that we're an open country. This country is built off of immigration. You know what I mean? No matter what, it's built off of a lot of other like slavery and all that type of bullshit too. But, you know, we wouldn't have a multicultural city if we weren't such an open armed city. All right. So you would imagine if we're an open armed city, you should make it where people feel welcome when they get here. Let me see what this is via The Guardian. Has 2.2 million views on it in 1 month. Jesus Christ.
I moved to Toronto.
WG says, why does it have to be brown versus black? We are minding our business. Why not Chinese or white versus brown? And all it's not brown versus black. There's a whole, I guess people who've been here for a while versus people who've been just immigrating over the last few years. This weird sentiment where people are like, y'all can't be here. I don't completely agree with that. Like, you gotta, make sure not just letting the right people in, obviously. Like, it's an open country, right? But you also have to make sure that the country can accommodate all of the people that you're trying to let in, rather than just having more people in worse positions. That's why this lady was saying in the other news clip, a lot of people said, okay, we came here and then 5 years later, like, your country sucks. I'm going back home. You know what I mean? So not everybody is over here in Canada saying, oh my God, oh, please keep us over here. Nah, some people get over here, no matter what country it is. It could from India, China, whatever. And they'll be like, it was all right. Y'all kind of weird. I think I might just go back to my spot. Y'all a little. I don't like the taxes, everything. It's too high over here. I'm going back home. So don't act like we're over here being peaches and cream over here. Like, if you go downtown Toronto sucks. I don't care how pretty some of the buildings are. It's nasty. It smells weird. I just came back from there. It's different. Like, yeah, everybody come on in. But where are we putting everybody? Because the cost of a downtown apartment, it's like 22 quick fast as well. That's insane. 1 in 4 in poverty. Ugh. What are we doing over here? Average house price in Toronto, $1,097,300. Okay, as of July of 2024. Average apartment cost Toronto, $2,489 a month. Okay, that's for a 1-bedroom apartment. Whereas a 2-bedroom apartment would cost you an average of $3,270 a month. Monting. One second.
What's going on, Friday?
What are you saying, brother?
Live, bro, live. So, I have questions, right?
Is it about Drake and Kendrick?
No. Nah, it's actually what you're talking about now, because I've always wanted to figure out what really is the hype about Toronto. That's the question for you. Answer that. So here's the question. Freddie, if I were to ask you, what is it that catches people and say, yo, we have to pull up in Toronto for the summer? Why
should somebody pull up to Toronto for the summer?
Yeah.
There's a good nightlife out here. The food is great. you know, for whatever you're into, if you're into women, then the women are beautiful. If you're into guys, then, you know, I'm sure there's a good selection of the man them, you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of multiculturalism out here. There's part of the thing that we're trying to keep going, the multiculturalism. Like, you can bump into, and especially when it comes to when people talk about the women in Toronto, yes, there's beautiful women from the Philippines or Filipino descent, or Arab people, all different types of people who come from Africa, you know, from the Congo, from Ghana, you know. Then you have a huge Jamaican community. The Jamaican community is the biggest of the black community out here, you know what I'm saying? And then all the other West Indian communities. And then there's all the different Slavic white communities, you know what I'm saying? People from Hungary, all over the place. That's a beautiful thing.
Nothing amazing. So wait, and that's not just Toronto. That's the entire Canada, right? Or it's mostly Toronto?
Toronto has the most of that, of the multiculturalism. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Peace Love says Ethiopian, Habishas, you know what I'm saying? As well as like the people who come from the Pakistani community and the Sikh community and all these, the whole melting pot, not even melting pot, multicultural community, because there's a difference also between a melting pot and a multicultural community. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
America is more of a melting pot, or they try to, you know, different metropolitan areas are more of a melting pot. You go there and you become American. Okay. And I'm just saying this from the outside as a Canadian, so y'all don't kill me for the American audience. But here, when you're from Canada, or, you know, from Toronto, where we're talking about, people don't say, oh, I'm Canadian first. They'll say I'm Ethiopian first. I'm Somali. You know what I'm saying? Even if they were born here.
Right. Oh, so in Toronto, it's more like
we keep our culture intact while still all being around each other.
That's what I was about to say. That's what I was about to say. Because my next question was, is Toronto and New York similar?
It's the most similar as far as when it comes to American cities, because you can go to a lot of different places in New York and they keep their culture intact in those areas too. But then it still has that American thing going on, as somebody who's been to New York a multitude of times, where it's still like the majority of black people are black Americans. You know what I'm saying?
As you know, they would say, I'm an African American. So it's like, they don't really say, yo, I'm a Caribbean American. They say I'm an African American. I don't ever hear someone say, oh, I'm an African Canadian. Like, I never heard that. Or I'm a Caribbean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't hear that. You know what I mean?
And there's conflicts too. Like, I've seen like a lot of West Indians or even Haitians and stuff like that try to tuck that when they're over there in New York specifically. I can't speak for all the rest of the states, but for New York specifically, they try to tuck that and just lean more into their New Yorkness, so that they don't get into issues with African Americans, because there's a conflict between African Americans and what they now call, quote unquote, the tethers.
Oh, sorry. So I'm gonna slide the question over now. Watch this now. Here's how I'm gonna do this. At what point, so I'm not trying to talk to you like you're some politician or some super genius, right? But you live in the city, you know the city, right?
Yeah.
So at what point, Friday, did you see the change in the increase of immigrants or people coming in? And when you realized the change, prior to the change, was there a case of Toronto having what you call ghost communities or ghost areas where they needed to fill it up? So in your mind, you're saying, oh, these people are coming in because the government are trying to fill up these spaces. Was that a thought in your mind?
I never really seen anywhere as ghost spaces. I guess if you want to talk about any type of ghost spaces, the outskirts of Toronto, the Bramptons, the Durham region, like Pickering and different places like that, those places maybe 10, 15, or maybe 15, 20 years ago weren't as developed. And now, like, there's housing all over those places. There's, houses, and there's a bunch of people living in all those different places where maybe 20 years ago there wasn't. But as far as Toronto itself,
Right.
There's never been no space in Toronto. They're building more shit in Toronto every day. There's the most cranes in North America are over here in Toronto.
Oh. So wait. So now. So is that? So now. All right. I'm gonna start a question over now. Is this an issue amongst the Canadians with the government that you're saying? Why have so many people when you know we don't have the space? Is that an issue? That's a talking point.
They're saying that they're building the space, but as for somebody who's like was recently living downtown, there's a lot of homeless people downtown. So are they who are they building the space for? The pandemic really exposed a lot of shit, because at one point in time they were even housing some of the homeless people in the hotels and shit. You know what I'm saying? They're housing homeless people in some of the apartment buildings that weren't completely didn't have accommodations completely yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they exposed that they do have space. They're just not for everybody.
Oh, this is the answers I wanted, Fatty. Because obviously I have a degree in journalism. I didn't tell you guys, but I had a degree in journalism. So
Salute.
So I knew how to slide the question over. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So my last question, obviously I'm gonna let you go back to your show. I'm just asking because I'm so curious. You know what I mean?
No, man, ask away, bro. You're asking great questions.
So now that it has been exposed, from a person who is from the city, again, what do you think the government or people or the administrative people in the city should do to make the changes, whether that is to decrease immigration or increase housing? Or what are your recommended changes?
My recommended changes is increase the housing. Okay, keep the immigration the same, because I don't feel that they increased the immigration as much as people are maybe reporting.
Right.
Okay, I could understand they said that like 1 million more people came into the country, but this country has always been open for people to come to, right? Also, keep in mind that part of that million is not just people who are coming from South Asian countries. That's people who are coming from
Different parts of the world.
not just but war-torn countries, people who are coming from the Ukraine war, migrants that are coming from countries that are dealing with different coups and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they've been opened that up in combination with people who are immigrating here with their visas and green cards and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's where shit's getting a little sticky.
Oh, talk about it. Explain. When you say sticky, like
because there's one thing to have immigration in their city, right?
Right.
Immigration is cool, but then there's the immigration added with, you know, okay, we have a whole bunch of people, refugees here from Ukraine that need housing as well. We got a whole bunch of refugees over here from Rwanda that need housing as well. So, you know, how much housing is really available when there's people who are rightfully coming down here doing all the right paperwork, who have to compete with people who are escaping their countries, as well as the people who are already homeless in the city who've been here forever. So obviously it's going to cause some tension.
That right there, Freddie, is really where the clash is. Because now the city is fighting with a crisis of picking and choosing who we really let people, where do we allow people to stay? You get what I'm saying? And with that, it's going to cause friction and conflict. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Listen, if I immigrated here from India and I have to pay a bunch of money to go live somewhere where now somebody who, you know, okay, obviously they're a refugee, they're coming from a country that's going through war, right? But then they automatically get a place for free, a nice place, while I'm, you know, working my ass off to pay for a room or some shit. I'm going to be kind of pissed. I might be like, you know what? Fuck this country. I'm going back home.
All right. Now watch this now. We talking about immigration, right? What about the people who are living kind of in Montreal, Vancouver, and all of those places trying to get into Toronto? What's the situation of those people?
I'm one of those people. I came here 20, maybe almost 30 years ago now when I think about it. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not from Toronto. I'm from Montreal. You know what I'm saying? So I escaped Montreal. With all due respect to Montreal, I escaped Montreal before I ended up getting drowned in their politics. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So people in Toronto have to deal with me too. I'm not originally from here. I didn't go to school with Mandem. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm taking. I could be technically taking a Toronto man's job. I'm not, because I created my own company. But when I was working in a job in the system in the world, you know, I got the job when I was working for Shoppers head office because I was bilingual, because I'm bilingual, being from Montreal. So there's a Toronto man who didn't get that job because I went to apply for the shit, and I can speak French. Am I part of the problem?
Boy, Friday. I'm trying to stay on this show, you know. I'm not trying to get kicked out.
You know what I'm saying?
But I see. This is why I wanted to ask, because I see a lot of this whole Toronto issue on the internet. I read a lot. That's one thing about me. I read a lot. I watch a lot of podcasts and videos, and I soak up information, what policy. You know what I mean? But it's as some, because there was a so I'm from Jamaica, as you know. There's this thing called I hear it a lot. Farmers program or some other kind of program where they have out here in Jamaica. And it's like a trade exchange.
Okay.
And people in here in Jamaica take up that offer, run away to Canada thinking they're getting a better life. And some do, don't get me wrong, some do. But then, like, how it's not so long till they come back.
I was waiting for that part.
It's not so long till they come back.
How many of those migrants, those that come down here, not even migrants, the people who come down to do the farming out here? We talked about this on the podcast a few months ago, and they were under some wild conditions. There was water, the toilets were over flooding.
Crazy, bro. I'm not saying I know these people. I see these things in the news. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, there's only so long a country or a system can be so open. At some point, you have to filter the system out, and you gotta say no. Sometimes you just gotta say no.
Yes, but if you say that, now people will call you a racist.
Oh my God.
Right? Because what do you mean no? So it's like saying, like, it's almost like trying to say go back to your country type bullshit.
Damn it.
You know what I mean? That's why the immigration issue is always a very touchy issue. Because when people are like, close the borders.
It's a very tense one.
Yeah, like when Trump, you know, circling back to even with the debate, when Trump is like, close the border, a lot of people look at him and say, yo, you're a racist for saying that. What do you mean close the border? Our country's built on letting people in. So you can't really say that.
Yeah, especially when that's the foundation of what your country's about, you know.
Yeah.
I bet the dream. What they say again, the American dream, you know?
Fam, I wouldn't be here as a product of a Bajan mom and a Ghanaian dad. I wouldn't be here if Canada wasn't letting people come into the country, if there wasn't immigration.
I mean, you wouldn't have gotten the weekend if that was the case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yo, man, listen, I think every city has its own issues. But at some point, like you've seen it here now, Toronto, I don't want to say it hit like a wall, like a car ran into a wall, but it sounds to me like it's a heavy saturation issue. And they're going to have to find the space. They may have to do some giant, 100-floor skyscrapers type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's what it is. And the last question, Friday, this is what I really I'm intrigued about. The whole, because I heard you just speaking on it, the black and brown, well, not black and brown, but I guess I can say the grace issue. Right? I don't want to say the I word, you know what I mean? What's that like in Toronto, especially or speaking specifically in Toronto, like, is it really like a case of, is it all right, does Toronto have a grace issue or a class issue?
Grace.
Because here in Jamaica,
because
we
they
have a
both.
colorism issue.
Yes, but over here, it's not a class issue because if it's black and brown, both of them, we both broke. So none of us is higher than the next. You know what I'm saying? The white man looking at us both like we crazy. You know what I'm saying? So in the end of the day, it's not like there's one class higher than the other when it comes to black and brown. When black and brown are having these arguments, I feel like, to me, and this is just me having just self-awareness from my own people, sometimes my own people could be hella racist, bro.
Yeah, no, that's crazy, bro.
You know this as a Jamaican man, you know what I'm saying? And you know, you're Indian, you're South Asian, you're like Coolie, no?
No, what my mom is from Trinidad and my dad is Jamaican, so I have a heavy Indian root genes in my family. Yes,
Exactly. Now I know Jamaica doesn't have that little degree of the divisiveness and stuff like that, but it's still there, and there's still little words that they call you know, people who are.
I am a light skin in Jamaica. When they see a light skin, clean, good looking man, they automatically think your life is easy and life is good for you.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have to deal with that my whole life. When it comes to women, when it comes to people, it's hard for me to be around women and they thinking, oh, he has money every day. I mean, not to say I don't have money, but I'm just saying, like, that's a psychological thought. I have to deal with here in Jamaica as a light-skinned person, you know?
Yeah.
So it's all part of life, and we just have to figure out a way to come together and deal with it. And that's why I love Jamaica, because one thing about Jamaica is, as our motto says, out of many, one people. We always find a way to be together and stay together at the end of the day. And Toronto needs to find some of that, because, you know, we can't have a divided city. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo, Fred, I don't want to take your whole show. You know what I mean?
Yo, OVO Yardy in the building.
Who said the OVO people don't have good conversations?
It's not always about Drake, right?
It's not always about Drake. You don't say. Yeah.
You done know, brother.
Big up yourself. Stay safe and enjoy the rest of the show. But big up yourself.
You too, brother.
Keep it good, man.
Salute to OVO Yardy, man. OVO Yardy came in with the facts. Holy. He's right, man. We do have to figure out a way of getting along. I do understand, like, it's the way that my brothers feel sometimes, but we also have to bag back a little bit. You know what I mean? We have to be a little bit more welcoming, myself included. You know what I'm saying? It's. I don't want to say there's a common enemy, but there's a common set of people that don't like us. In the end of the day, they're looking at us both like we niggas. All right. So we'll leave that there. Salute to all my brown brothers. You know what I mean? Salute to Roadrunner, who started up a really good conversation. What's this saying? Jay Castro says ABC moderates own Trump. Not one fact check on Kamala. 15 against Trump. Yeah, they were going crazy in that debate last night. Let's keep it civic. Let's stay on our civic topics. Civic, you know, City Rick on the scene. We were talking about the other day some shootings that happened over at the schools. Okay, RIP to that young man who passed away a few days ago. And I've been keeping my eyes on the news, keeping tabs on everything that's been going on since school's been come back in, right? Obviously, we're in the first week now of school, and another shooting went down in Scarborough this time. Student gets grazed by a bullet in the head during shooting outside Scarborough School. All right, or high school. Let's go to Andrew Brennan from CP24 News for the report.
Story with a 16-year-old boy injured in a shooting near several Scarborough schools. For more, let's go to CP24's Beatrice Vaisman, who's just landed. What have police told you, Beatrice?
Let's go.
I know
Beatrice.
we just got an update not long ago.
We did. Just a few minutes ago, we heard from Inspector Richard Harris here from 42 Division. Andrew, he gave us an update as to the police investigation. He says the suspect, who's believed to be a 17 or 18-year-old boy, is still at large. The victim is a 16-year-old boy who's a student here at Agincourt Collegiate. And thankfully, it sounds like his injuries are non-life-threatening, though, as the inspector told us, he was grazed in the head by a bullet. So this obviously could have been a tragedy. Andrew, this happened just before the noon hour, just around 11:50, and right where that forensic identifications vehicle is, that's where it's believed that there was some kind of altercation or situation that started on the east side of the school parking lot here at Agincourt Collegiate, and now this entire school parking lot is taped off by police. The entire school parking lot is a crime scene. As for how many gunshots were fired, we know at least one.
Keep in mind, this is outside of a high school. This is not a nightclub.
One being the one that grazed the 16-year-old boy. But otherwise, police are still trying to figure out A, exactly how many shots were fired. Are there multiple? B, how many witnesses are there? Was this 16-year-old boy alone, or were there other people with him? And it sounds like there were other people, at least, who witnessed what happened. And I can tell you, as we're showing you, kind of panning around, showing you the school parking lot, behind this police cruiser, kind of in the west side of this school parking lot, there's several other evidence markers. Our camera operator, who was up in Chopper 24.
No lie, when I do have kids, I'm homeschooling them mofos. I'm sorry. I'm not sending my kids to these schools. Homeschool it is. It's not even worth it. Right? Like, yes, the education, kids need their education. But not only that, you got to worry about what the teachers are teaching these kids. Right? They might put on some kind of alphabet video for the kids, have them, trying to change their gender by grade 9 and shit. Not only that's happening, but you got to worry about getting grazed when niggas is coming to handle business over at the school. Come on, dog.
Earlier this afternoon, as he spotted about a dozen evidence markers in total, and just that gives you an idea as to what's happening. Certainly, at this point, we know that
a dozen evidence markers. Does that mean a dozen shots were shot at a high school? Come on, dog.
the 16-year-old boy is in hospital. He's being treated for his injuries. And now police are looking for a suspect. As for a suspect description, that was put out by investigators earlier this morning. They were saying it was a 17 or 18-year-old boy, last seen wearing.
What am I expecting? I don't know why I'm acting like, what, he was 17, 18? Yeah. I don't entertainment says Professor Friday school in session. Listen, I don't want to be the professor to these niggas, B. Holy shit, man. Imagine being these little niggas' teacher, B. You don't know which one of the students in the class got a burner in their backpack, on their waist. You know, I'm rocking the shit is we're back to baggy. You know what I'm saying? When things get too baggy, that's when you can just put a little deuce in your pants and just chill. I'm not trying to listen. Don't get no ideas, but I'm just saying.
Wearing a blue Nike sweater, multiple zippers, dark pants.
Hear that? Multiple zippers. That's for the burner.
Nike sweater, multiple zippers, dark pants, and police, in terms of whether this was a random situation or a targeted situation, are saying at this hour they believe this 16-year-old student here at Agincourt Collegiate was in fact targeted. As for what that means or why,
of course he was targeted. Ain't nobody going to the high school, at least not here in Canada. That's more of an American thing, where people are going to the high school and just indiscriminately just shooting everybody. Over here, right now in Toronto, when there's a shooting at a high school, they're looking for the ops. They're looking for directly the 1 or 2 ops or whatever it is. And they're like, yeah, you're trying to get an education and shit? Oh, yeah, you trying to be smart? You reading books and shit, nigga? What you doing? What your parents told you to do and go to school and shit, nigga? On site.
police are still working on figuring out a motive and a theory as if there was a dispute or some kind of argument that may have happened, precipitated this shooting.
Take that in. Niggas can't even go get an education, B. That's crazy. These little niggas are in class stressing, looking out the window like, yo, please let me get out of this science class quick, fast. Let me learn my shit so that I can get out of here quick before the ops see me. I could listen, if I got beef like this gentleman, the gentleman who passed, RIP, I'm not even going to school, fam. You can't concentrate if you got beef.
Police say they're trying to figure that out based on any witness accounts and any video surveillance as well. I want to tell
you can't do arithmetic when you're worrying about the ops.
As well that there's a lockdown, as you've been reporting, that's in place here at this school. The spokesperson for the Toronto District School Board, Ryan Bird, also talked to us a few minutes ago. Let us know that there's 1,400 students who go to this school. They're all still inside the building, but at 3 o'clock, the lockdown for parents.
And that's Agent Court. That's over here in Scarborough. I don't even want to go to school if I'm just even one of the people who go to that school. There's a shooting at my... stressing me out, fam. Yo, there's a shooting at my school. If I go to that school and I'm a good youth, I'm a miskeen, and then there's a shooting at my school, I'm asking my mom, please homeschool me. Don't even transfer me to another school. Just homeschool me. Entertainment says skipping is a good idea nowadays. Maybe. You're skipping and then you're in the streets with these other niggas who don't go to school, who are just spinning other niggas' schools to go lay out an op. They might be better. I don't know where they're better off. I've said this before and I'll say it over and over again. Thank you, God. Thank you for my age, and I'm the age I am right now. Hold on, let me give a bigger screen. Thank you, God, that I am the age I am right now, and I'm not 18, 17, 21 in 2024. Oh, hell no. I don't want little nigga problems, B. When I was younger and I was having little nigga problems, they were crazy. I had my own share of issues and running around with burners and doing all kind of stupid shit. But the level of fuckery that's going on right now in 2024, again, thank you, God. Thank you. Niggas be calling you, oh, Friday, you old foot, you old head. Yeah, thank you that I don't gotta be my dating pool and my inner circle has to be other niggas who are like 19 running around with a balaclava on in the middle of the summer. Thank you. Nobody wants to be 15 in 2024, B. It's a stressful time.
Parents, heads up, this lockdown will slowly, gradually be lifted. And at that point, students are going to be allowed out of the north side of this building.
You're a 15-year-old miskeen youth going to the same school and you ain't even about that action. Oh, man, I don't even want to go to school with these little crazy ass niggas, with the demons. No. This is just nasty shit, bro. I don't know what is going to happen to make this stop, because there's one thing when the man them, and that's not right neither, but there's one thing when you got these gangster niggas who are in their 20s, even early 30s and shit like that, even 40s. When you got guys going around high stakes, you know, guys are kicking in each other's doors, all types of things that happen in the streets. Okay? That's one thing. When things happen and guys get into beef over those types of things at that age. But when you're 15, 16, and you're worrying about the ops, I don't even know what kind of life that the man them are living when that shit happens.
Paramedics thankfully suffering non-life-threatening injuries. Here's what Toronto
Take place on
18-year-old boy that police describe as a suspect may have been known to one another. This was not a random incident, but certainly it's incredibly unnerving to the students, to the parents, and obviously to this 16-year-old boy's family as well. He was rushed to hospital by paramedics, thankfully suffering non-life-threatening injuries. Here's what Toronto Police Inspector Richard Harris told us here at the scene.
Hold on, I don't know why my shit is freezing up. There we go.
quite concerning. The fact that it is, yes, so early on in the school year, but any day of the school year, when the incidents
This nigga look familiar.
of senseless violence take place on school property is concerning not only to the families, also to the police as well. And like I said, this we believe was a targeted event, but I do want to let the public know that we will not stop. And the fine members of the Gun and Gang Task Force Centralized Shooting Team are well underway with an investigation with this.
Juicy Hamburger says free all the dogs and demons. No, keep them. All right, y'all can clip that. Keep them. If you are a dog or a demon and you're out here wetting up the block, I don't care if it's your ops. If you're going for innocence, keep them. Stay there. We don't need you in society. I felt like this for a long time. And because of my time in the streets, I felt it kind of hard to say these types of things. I felt like a hypocrite a lot of times. You know what I mean? Like, well, Friday, how could you say those types of things? You've been in the streets. You went away for a strap. What do you mean keep them? Nigga, if you're out here wetting up the school ground, trying to catch your op, maybe hitting little Sally, okay, who's just trying to do her thing, get her studies and get an education, and you're out here spinning the block and you get caught by the police, keep your ass. I don't give a shit how many gangster rappers I've interviewed. If you're out here taking people's lives away, throw away the fucking key. We don't need you in society. Okay? There's one thing to be out there and you're making your money, you're doing what you got to do because the cost of living is high and rate. I get that. I'm not going to judge anybody for doing that. All right? Because one day something will be illegal like weed, and then the next day, oh, it's legal. Like, okay, so we're not taking the moral high grounds on anybody being in the streets doing what they got to do. So let's be clear on that. But if you're a murderer, especially if you are a young murderer, try your ass like an adult and go sit down and think about that shit. If it takes 25 years for you to figure it out, suck. My sympathy for you guys has disappeared. There's none left. I have no more fucks to give.
As for the suspect, Bakari and Andrew, police say it's a 17 or 18-year-old.
Empathy for their victims. Now, factoring in time served, Nygaard will serve just under 7 years.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I got on that. All right. I'm sorry. There's going to be a few people who'll be like, yo, Friday, what you mean, dog? You're supposed to be like free to man them. Nigga, yes, free certain man them. If they caught you for a B&E, okay, they caught you stealing some jewelry, you did some gangster shit, you know what I'm saying? All right. It wasn't right, but I understand. Free you. But you go and you juke up a man and take that person's life and take them away from their loved ones and their family members or whatever, no matter what that person did. If that person went and killed one of your loved ones and they get caught and have to go to jail forever, go too, on both sides. So for the people who are going to get mad at me and be like, what you mean, bro? My brethren's in jail for shooting somebody. All right, so what the fuck? You want me to say free him? No. Why should he be free? He's endangering the public. When you go let off a thing and you're like, yo, let me go catch the ops at a playground, you might hit a kid. So if the judge says, you know what, you're gone forever, am I supposed to feel bad for you? No. I don't want one of my kids to be out there walking around and they get hit by a bullet because you guys got whatever little issues you're going through. Go on, keep you, bro. Free who? Keep them. About free dogs. I no offense to you, brother. I know you don't. I know you just saying, you know, a rap lyric. Maybe that's part of the problem. All these stupid ass rap lyrics. You know what I'm saying? All that free the dogs and demon shit has to done. Why the hell would you want a demon free to come out and do more demon shit? What the hell? Satellite Inc. says, are we keeping the same energy for top 5 then? The nigga say he ain't do it. Is innocent until proven guilty. Okay? If this was beyond a reasonable no shadow of a doubt that nigga's out there saying bang, 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 that he went and banged and took that nigga's life, then yes, I will have the same energy. Trust me. Anywho, salute to all them kids over at Agent Court. I don't even know what to tell these guys. Like, all right, suck it up, Buttercup. Go back to school when it's back open. Like, no, fam. I don't want to go back over there, fam. Like, somebody just shot up the school, and now I just got to go back in there, you know, strap up my book pack and my backpack and just go back into school and just go learn some shit. No, B. You guys, it's tainted now, fam. I don't want to learn nothing over there. I'm going to go ask my parents to homeschool me. It's a mod thing. Anyhow, let me get on to something that's a little bit more upbeat. I'm going to piss myself off. Upset myself to rotted. These niggas is on one, B. Anyhow, let's take a sharp turn to a better place. Coi Leray's out here. Okay, just for anybody who needed to know, she's out here with her new Bay alert or reunited Bay alert, circle the block alert. She's out here with Trippie Red. And this is for the TIFF, Toronto International Film Festival.
So far, what's the best part of TIFF so far? Eating, food, poutine. Yeah, I like Toronto fam. It's lit.
I like Toronto.
What you been doing in Toronto so far? What's the best?
Right? She likes Toronto fam. One thing I wondered, and let's go through the comments here. Cap City says link with Pressa. Yeah. I seen something on Pressa not too long ago. If I'm not mistaken, let me see what Pressa's up to, because I feel like I seen that nigga with Ruby Rose in Africa somewhere. He might have been in like South Africa. Let's see what Pressa's been up to. I'm sorry, gang. I had to take a sharp left off of that negative vibes. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to some people who are doing some nice shit. I don't know, get myself copyright. See, motherland, Africa. Who are these things that the man's with? The Habishas. I think this is Ruby Rose right here.
Like a funny hoe, like we make love and take it to myself. Can I really be with one woman? Yeah, I think so, but it's hard when
Copyright.
you with your dogs at the floor. What the fuck, bro? Hey! Hey! Oh! Holy shit!
living his best life. So yeah, when it comes to just this post here with Shorty and Duke.
What are we doing in Toronto so far? What's the best part of TIFF so far? Eating food, eating poutine.
I don't think he's too mad. You know what I'm saying? You think he wants his thing back? Y'all think that Pressa wants that old? I want that old thing back. All right. Young Money says Pressa was in Dubai with Ruby Rose. That's what I was thinking. Like, let me see if I can find this on X. Pressa, Ruby Rose. Give me a quick second before I pull up the page because you know it can get mucky over there on X. Found it. Found it. Found it. Let's go. Found it.
Oh yeah.
Hey, yo, chill.
Oh yeah, she's OC with it, bro. Oh yeah, she's OC with it.
You're gonna go get me a freaking a copy, or not a copyright, a community guideline with all that ass out. Calm down. And this is Pressa. The day Ruby Rose or Pressa or Megan Thee Stallion tape gets leaked, I'm calling out work for the whole week. I don't know whose page this is. This is not Pressa's official page. Is there anything else? Like I said, you got to be careful with Twitter or X or whatever. Here we go. Ruby Rose and Pressa are both on vacation in Mombasa, Kenya, and they're posting from the same location. X-File sound. That's the post that I was just looking at. I'm not going to lie, and this is with all due respect to both of those ladies. They're moving kind of like sleutings. And I know people are going to be like, yo, but, you know, women are allowed to smash whoever they want. Right? Yeah. But the perception looks kind of different from the outside when it comes to y'all women being as sexually free or whatever y'all want to call it from the feminist standpoint. You know what I mean? Like, I guess with Leray, she's spinning back the block, so she's not taking in new dicks. But if Ruby Rose, for every person that she's appeared with, if she's taking dick from every person she's appeared with, then at this point, like, Jesus Christ. With all due respect, the whole of them loose. Actually, that was kind of disrespectful. But fam, how many niggas is you gonna be seen with? I swear this chick was just with the Drewski nigga not too long ago. She's I feel like she might be moving on some pass around things. Where was that picture? Yeah, she might be and listen again, with all due respect, it might be like pass the bottle and tap the hit the tap or whatever that song was. You know what I'm saying? What did the nigga say right here? Puntio5 says she got bacteria galore. Ooh. You gotta strap up in that one right there. She still got a little bit of Drewski juice on her. Pause. All right. Dusty Wallace says Pressa ain't stressing for Koi. I hope not. She's showing out. She came down here and she brought her nigga with her. Right? Trippie Red's like, oh, you going to Toronto? I'm going with you. Isn't that where your ex is from? All right. Yeah. I'm pulling up. Oh, wait, how did the niggas pronounce it? You going to Toronto? Yeah, I'm pulling up.
What are we doing in Toronto so far? What's the best part of TIFF so far? Eating food, eating poutine.
Yeah. He's right there. eating poutine. Make sure it's just poutine, bitch. Pause. I don't remember what my pause is for, but I'll put a preemptive pause in there. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, you going to Toronto? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like Toronto, fam. It's lit.
Oh, look at Burrow sounds getting messy in the comments right here. She definitely bringing Trippie to the same spots Pressa put her on to. Oh, what's a good place to eat out here, Shawty? Oh, my ex used to bring me to this nice Caribbean spot. They got oxtails. You know what I'm saying? They've been pronouncing oxtail with an S on the end. They got good oxtails over there at this great restaurant that my ex-boyfriend used to bring me to. Did she bring this nigga to Jane and Finch? She bring the nigga to Driftwood? Trippie Red and Driftwood? Is that a thing? Or they got to stay downtown? They don't want to go visit the Wasses up there in Driftwood. Anyhow, we're not going to spend too long on that. Salute to her. Do your thing. Okay? And Pressa, strap up, bro. If you're over there with the Ruby Rose thing, please, bro. No matter, I know she's a pretty Habisha thing. You know what I'm saying? Mans might want to just lay up in it one night raw. Like, if you're smashing it, bro, double wrap that, bro. Double wrap it, bro. She looks like she's been around too many places, family. Anyhow, I think I got one more story on me. One more thing. Big salute to Christmas List. Just a quick update on the boy Christmas List over there in Trinidad. Like I was telling y'all before, you know what? Let's go to his page first because he might have a post on his page. All right, this is him over there in Trinidad. Former gang boss Quincy Dougie Felix interview is now live on my YouTube channel. Let's go there. I've been taking a look at Christmas List channel in a while. One second. Let me pull up the screen for y'all to see this. Let's go to Christmas List's channel and see what the last thing he posted. So the update as far as his arrest, he was arrested for money laundering that is added on to his sedition charges that he had over there. And the last time he posted was 7 days ago. And this is his interview with former gang boss Quincy Felix, aka Doggy.
So we're at the bus terminal. Normally on a Monday through Saturday, this place is packed. Everything is open. People, music. It's a lot more lively. But right now it's a Sunday, and it's fairly quiet. As you can see, most of the locations are closed down. Even in the middle, there's normally like lots of fruit shops selling fresh produce and such. Let's walk around a little bit.
Yeah, like so what's up? Nah, so what's up? So what's up right now?
So what's up?
How long have you been doing this?
I know that.
This and hopefully those watching this video, not only in Diego Martin or Trinidad, but around the world, can help bring some positivity in some neighborhoods where there is a lot of negativity. Very briefly, where are we right now?
By the mosque.
Yes. Now this is your mosque?
Yeah.
You built the mosque?
The bottom part of the apartments and the middle floor, then the mosque.
Yes.
If you want to take a little walk through the mosque.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
This was dropped 9 days ago.
So how important is the mosque for your community?
Well, since I come out of prison, I build the mosque basically for the youth to understand how to pray and how to understand spiritually.
But when you were in prison, was that part of your plan as soon as you got out?
Yeah. The same brother Darren.
Are we getting money laundering from these videos? Like, just put me on.
So I've eaten there before.
Yeah.
You have a pharmacy.
And I know doing I know trying to build a little health center with doctors and dentists and things.
Yeah.
So
what else do you
that's supposed
have?
to be completed by month end here.
Okay.
So this is the businesses I try, and this is the farm I was trying to go at.
Yeah. What about mechanic? You have a mechanic?
I had a tire, well, I have a parts place too.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So
This guy's enterprising.
it's between the tire shop, I had a tire shop, and I kind of slow it up and I start a parts business.
And this is your farm.
Yeah, this is my farm here.
Who looks after Everything. Yourself or the people from the community?
No, I had some help from some of the people from.
Just to give you guys an idea of what Christmas List's videos are about, for the people who don't know. This guy's gets access to places.
What is this?
Waiting area.
Waiting area.
This guy's building a doctor's office. This is sick. So, right now he's dealing with some serious legal issues, 2 times the legal issues, 2 cases. And let's pull up what he had to say on his Instagram page. So the government in Trinidad and Tobago falsely detained me on money laundering charges. When they couldn't find any evidence, they then arrested me for deportation the next day. I spent 72 hours in the detention center before the judge said no evidence to deport me. The nightmare has no end. And for those that say just leave, you should leave. My passport has been held hostage since I arrived. Whoa. I told the man, like, oh, I'm not going to do the shoulda, woulda, couldas. But, like, bro, you going back over there? Even when we finished the interview off camera, I was like, bro, is there no way that you cannot go back to Trinidad? Let's continue. My passport has been held hostage since I arrived. My bail conditions state I cannot leave. If I attempt to leave, I will be immediately arrested and jailed. My iPhone, laptop, and camera were also taken from me for a second time with no reasoning. This is the corruption you can find only in the Trinidad government. What's next for me? More jail or possibly worse. They're out to silence me. Whew. And he has his comment section off for this. God damn. He's going through it right now. So from what they're saying here, no passport. So can't leave. They're trying to say over there in Trinidad. And that's part of his bail condition. They took his iPhone, his laptop, and his camera. We got to pray for Christmas List, man. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it back from this. We really, 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 really hope that his legal representation can do what they got to do to get these charges cleared, because I'll say again, the 2 charges that he has against him are sedition. And we can look that up quick, fast if you want to. Sedition is what he was saying was one of the worst charges over there that you can get in Trinidad. However, a lot of people are not convicted of it. Sedition meaning conduct, speech inciting people again to rebel against the authority of a state. Okay, so they're feeling like the types of things that and let me make this a little bit bigger on the screen. The types of things that he's talking about, or maybe exposing as far as like the corruption and things that are in Trinidad, is definitely making them look bad as far as like a government. Like y'all need to do better, obviously. And this is just my opinion. The government doesn't want to hear that. They don't want to hear you all need to do better. They don't want to see people coming out there and exposing the poverty that they have out there. So from their angle, if I'm going to play devil's advocate, they're feeling like he's conducting speech inciting people to rebel against the authority, right? When the people who are talking to him and saying, listen, this is how we're living, I don't look at that as a rebellion. It's more looked at as an expose or exposing the lack of funding or just the inequality of the way that money is being put around Trinidad in different countries. However, they're looking at it more as a rebellion. The people are rebelling against us. They don't How dare you talk about we don't want to be poor? How dare you expose how shitty we've been treating you? You're rebelling. So, you know, if you're coming from that angle and you want to stand on business, as a prosecutor, it's going to be hard to change that person's mind. It's not about the law, it's about a mind state. No matter how much Christmas list, the people who he's filming who are asking her, saying, yeah, come through, please film us. No matter how much they're like, no, we're not rebelling. That government, if they want to look at it that way, it's not a law thing. It's literally how they're thinking. And if the judge wants to think that same way, it's going to be a long night for the defense. All right, so it all depends on what kind of judge he gets. You know, the type of mind state that the judge has. If the judge is a little bit more open-minded, maybe even a little bit more advanced on how things work when it comes to YouTube and videos like that, to see that it's not in malice, then he could get by. But if the judge has that same kind of mind state, like, nah, how dare you expose how shitty of a government we have over here, then I feel really, 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 really bad for Christmas list. You know what I'm saying? But listen, I think we're gonna end it there. Okay, salute to the brother Christmas list. We are praying for you over here at the We Love Hip Hop Network. The whole We Love Hip Hop family is praying for you. All right, and I'm gonna leave it there. We got about 2 hours and 30 minutes on top of the live that I did yesterday. Oh, a whole lot of content for your head top, man. Interview that's dropping tomorrow. All right, new episode alert. Episode 503 is dropping tomorrow morning. Big salute to Color Boy. That's the interview that's dropping. It's a very, very entertaining interview. Look out for the YouTube video that's dropping at 6 p.m. and look out for the audios dropping as usual on all listening platforms anywhere after 3 a.m. All right, we are off of this. Deuces.